over Ukraine, and it's still a shock to many Americans. But for those with ties to Ukraine, the attacks are very personal. 7 News reporter Aaliyah Keller spoke to Ukrainians who are experiencing a mix of shock, worry, and anger.
I was very shocked and very angry.
Tatiana Rad is still in disbelief over Russia's attacks on Ukraine.
It's nothing new, but real hot invasion was not really predicted. Nobody could imagine that's going to happen in the middle of Europe, literally in the middle of Europe.
Rad now lives near Pittsburgh, but her mind is often on her family and friends halfway across the world. They live in the western part of Ukraine where she grew up.
I've been contacting them and talking to them literally every day. It's really hard because it's very stressful. Nobody's safe and secure there.
She says her family felt bombs not too far away from where they live, but they still have plans to stay there, at least for now.
My family, who most live in west part of Ukraine, I think so far they are, I can't say safe, but they are okay at this moment.
The attacks are also personal to Bernadette McMaster's Chaim. Chaim, who lives in Wheeling, never stepped foot on Ukrainian soil, but her grandparents both immigrated from there.
You know, and my grandmother never lived to see Ukraine as a free nation because when she passed away, it was still under the Soviet Union. And so for them to have their freedom again in peril, you know, it's really sad for the Ukrainian people.
And while the war rages on in Ukraine, the U.S. is firing back at Russia with sanctions. But both Chaim and Rad have little faith that will be enough.
You know, I realize that the United States, you know, they don't want to get into a war with Russia, but you know, I don't know how this little country is going to be able to you know, survive such a superpower like Russia.
But just like Chaim, Rad isn't giving up hope.
The only thing I really hope that the whole world sees this situation. This is invasion at the sovereign, freedom-loving country and freedom-loving people, and they never wanted to invade anybody, and that Russian invasion is supposed to be stopped.
For 7 News, I'm Aaliyah Keller, working for you.
Chaim doesn't personally know anyone living in Ukraine right now, but Rad is continuing to pray for her family and friends in the country.